Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another day, another weekend edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 86. Your weekly dose of open Korean StarCraft. Let's go. Let us go. I'm of course your host, ZvP, with you, enjoyed by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Exclamation mark. Be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is live. The bracket is stacked. Let us head on over and catch up on said bracket as we have our first series of the broadcast. As you can see here, we're going to be jumping into SHIN versus Prome for our first round of 16 match. When it comes to the other matches here, we have a hero. Heroes up against a Dollar Tree Dipper. We have a sword. Oh, actually, sorry, that's not updated. Un momento. There we go. We have Hero waiting for Luna of Ragnar and Dollar. We have Mixu up against Honmono. We have Beyond versus Triple. We have our series SHIN versus Prome. We have Solar versus Chovka. We have Love, well, I believe that's Tasia. I believe that's Tasia versus Foxer. We have Classic versus Perceive and Percival versus Rebellion. So a stacked bracket here tonight. We have our first series and we are jumping on in. Spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Weibo Gaming. It is SHIN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss. We have the Red Protoss. For among us two people, it is a Prome. Here we go. And again, a big shout out to Baby Links in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing for 43 months. I can't believe it's been that long. That's crazy. It's great. 43 months. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support. We always do appreciate it. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It's Gamma time. It is Gamma time. Predictions are open and place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats as we get into our ZvP, as we get into SHIN versus Prome. Coming into this, SHIN is favored for sure. SHIN is he's the favorite player, but Prome, he has been spiking up from time to time. Prome, he is a very fun, very innovative player, I should say, coming up with some quirky builds at times, working together with the other Korean Protosses like Lunacy and Rebellion and Farmy. So we'll see what Prome brings to the table as SHIN is going to be settling in. And welcome to White Rabbit. White Rabbit is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Larger map, a longer rush distance by ground. Aggression is not really too favored here. We have seen a big shift in the ZvP meta, and we've seen a lot of 3-base all-ins. A lot of 3-base all-ins here in ZvP. That has been the dominant force and the dominant kind of strategy in the current meta, but I would say that all-ins are going to be a little bit weaker here. But because the map is so large, that is where Muta play is more viable. So going to Spire, going to Mutas is going to be an option here for SHIN, so that's going to be in the back of my mind. Otherwise, Prome isn't really one to play too standard, so early on we'll keep an eye on the tech. We'll see if we do indeed go for a Stargate opener or if we decide to hide some tech instead. Based on the pylon location, we could try to hide a tech structure here. We'll see. Eyes are initially going to be on Prome. So chat, so hyped to see Tasia back in the game these days. Sure. I mean, Tasia, he's mainly excelling in SC Evo, is what I will say. It is really cool to see Tasia competing in some SC2 tournaments, whether it's KSL, whether it's Sparkling Tunic Cup, and I think he might have played in a Pegasus Cup, maybe like a Pegasus Cup here or there, or a WCB Monday here or there. A little bit more irregular when it comes to that. But yeah, I mean, there's value, right, in getting better in SC2 to be able to excel in SC Evo, as that is still a part of it, of course, as well. True. It's still a part of it. Oh my god, SHIN? Before we get ahead of ourselves, Stargate opener at a Pro. Meanwhile, SHIN is rushing into Overlord speed. Numas has carapace before link speed. There's no link speed pattern. So this is crazy. So delay link speed, early Overlord speed instead. This is a really old way of playing. If you remember back in Heart of the Swarm, I want to say this was pre-Legacy of the Void, there was a build to go for early Overlord speed just to get vision, just to get scouting early on. I wonder if he is taking note of this. Hold on. I wonder if he's like, oh no. As we do see a Fleet Beacon on the way, so Prome is going to be rushing into Sky Torch, rushing into the Fleet Beacon. The Overlord Scout is going to be denied. That might be part of what he was referencing. Just whipping out the Google Translate. Okay. Oh, okay. I think Shin was referring to the fact that he has yet to get vision, but there we go. Here comes Overload Speed, and Shin gets a full scout. He gets a full scout. Shin, he sees everything. He sees both Stargates and the Fleet Beacon, and I'm sure Prome is like, what? Why do you have Overload Speed right now? So again, Shin, he's gonna forego Link Speed. He actually cancels Link Speed. He starts to lair. Again, this is a very inefficient build, but I did mention that Prome can be a very cheeky player, so technically, if you really want to scout, if you really want to know what's going on, then you can rush into Overload Speed. But the reality is that you can technically get this information without Overload Speed. It'll typically cost you an Overlord to do so, but you can find that information. I say that Prome did open up Stalker Sentry just to deny vision, so this might just be a player thing, where Shin feels the need to go for Overlord Speed early against Prome because he's so quirky. Now, he has confirmed the 2-base all-in. It is going to be a rush into Tempest, of course. We have a Gateway Explosion behind this, so this feels like a variation of what Classic used to do, where you want to go into Tempest. Classic will do it with 1 Stargate, go into Tempest, and then go for a hard switch into Ground Toss and try to force an overreaction, but the Overlord does confirm the ground switch, so Shin sees everything he needs to. We have the Spire on the way, but remember, because Shin knows that there are gateways on the ground, he should not neglect his ground army. We should be seeing Roaches, as you can see. Yep, Roach Speed. Roach Speed is on the way, so we're getting into Roaches, we're getting into a ground composition, we're saturating on 3 bases first, and then Shin can afford those Corruptors. Of course, Queen's going to be a part of this initially as well to buy time for the Corruptors. First Tempest is moving out, but Overlords, hey, they're speedy boys, they can and will get away. So again, a really quirky game here overall. Not the most efficient, but it does feel very metagamey. Like, it feels very versus Pro, as you would never rush Overlord Speed otherwise. But hey, now she knows. Now she knows. Queens, they push forward. Oh, a little bit premature, as 1 Queen barely survives. Ideally, you want to lure the Tempest further onto creep, and then you can get under them. Speaking of, Tempest taking a lot of hits. We got 1 Queen. 1 Queen so far. Spire is now done. Shin, he did make 9 Roaches. So we got 9 Roaches out. Again, the Queens are just buying time. The Roach Horn is under fire, but Roach Speed will complete. Okay, so Roach Speed, we got Bar, we got Tunneling Claws on the way as well. Interesting follow-up here out of Shin. Bleeding out a lot of Queens, but again, this is all just a buy time. It's all just a buy time. It's all just to hold the line here for the Corruptors. And can he get a Tempest? Oh, Roach Horn does get sniped. Tunneling Claws is denied. Have a backup Roach Horn on the way. Tempest getting some nice damage. Nice recall here once the Corruptors are seen. Gets the hell out of here. Recalls back home, and here comes the Stalkers. Now, Shin is in a bit of trouble here. Now, thankfully, he did finish Roach Speed, and he does have Link production underway, but Roach production is going to be delayed because of the snipe of the Roach Warren. So this ground switch has potential. Does have potential. Overseer does scout, does confirm, does get the contamination here on Blink. Very nice. Blink is contaminated. Shin collapsing over Stalkers. Nice around, and nice around Corruptors. Remember, there's no recall. No, yeah, there's no recall. The Tempest will fall, one after the other. The Roaches are overextending. That's going to be a lot of dead Roaches. Remember, Roaches, it's going to be difficult to reinforce, to rebuild. The Roach Horn did just now finish. There's 1 Tempest left. Yeah, 1 Tempest remaining. Does deny one of the Ravagers, snipes one of the Queens, gets one, gets the other. Nice target firing. Final Tempest does fall. The boys are being pulled. Shin getting a little bit desperate here, but we're just buying time for the reinforcements. And here come 9 more Roaches. Shin is holding. Shin, he is holding on. The Corruptors, they move out to try to caustic spray down some of the production or even some of the tech, even a base. Reinforcing an offensive warp in. We have 8 more Roaches in production. He's diving on the Ravagers. Nice blink. Oh, no detection. Oh my god, 0 detection. We burrow, we hide the Ravagers. Here comes Yon Burr, here come the Wiles. Ooh, forcing out a blink. But Shin, can he still hold on here? It's gonna be close. Yeah, it's still close. Meanwhile, the Corruptors, the Corruptors, they take down 3 gateways. Their base is broken. Shin, he's in danger here. Once again, nice burrow, saves the drones. As he does get more gates. I feel like the Cybercore would have been a massive pickoff here. But Cybercore does survive. He's building up his army. He's building up. Once again, does some burrow. How many Stalkers left? 23. 23 Stalkers remaining. It's a decent amount of Stalkers here. Oh my god, the unburrowed Pappy. Nice unburrows, but can he keep up with the sheer number of Stalkers though without Lings? Yeah, without Zerglings to support, with limited Larva. Shin's being forced further back. Oh, the boys being pulled. The boys do unburrow. Headed towards the northern base. Meanwhile, 3 gateways. Oh, down to 3 gateways. You can, you can see he's running out of production, Pappy. Ay, ay, ay. He can't spend his money. The Corruptors, they're popping up. The Corruptors, Pappy. They're killing all the production. And there are no defensive warp-ins. Prome is trying to reinforce. Here comes Yambaru. Yeah, here comes the surround. Ooh, it is too far. Yeah, he's gone too far in. There's the dance. CG gets cold as Prome the all-in fails. And Shin takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A crazy chaotic game here. Again, Shin opening up with Overlord speed first. I have to imagine that is specifically because of his opponent. Specifically because Prome, as I mentioned before, Prome, he is known for some quirky builds, like what we just saw. So Shin, he did go for Overlord speed first, got a full scout, got the re-scout, cancelled Link speed, and went into Lair Tech first. Was able to rush into earlier Spire, into Roaches as well. There was some really nice moments for Prome. I should say that the Tempest actually got a decent amount of value. I will say that Shin was maybe a little bit proactive, a little bit too cavalier with his queens, engaged too soon, did lose 1 or 2 queens a little bit too early as a result, and it was a bit of a shaky start. Sniper that Roach horn was huge. That did mean that Shin was delayed with his reinforcements, and that was a very close hold. I can see Prome breaking Shin. Like, that was close. If it wasn't for Burrow, like, Burrow was actually a really big factor there. If Shin did not have Burrow, his army would have been so much less efficient, and most likely he dies. Most likely he dies then and there. Like, we saw that Prome had an overwhelming ground army, so Burrow was a big factor there, being able to preserve Roaches, preserve Ravagers, regenerate HP, and even get some good surrounds. So GG, well played. Really nice use of Burrow in that defense. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is Shin. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss representing among SE2 people. It is a Prome. Here we go, and again, a crazy chaotic game. And again, I honestly, if it wasn't for Burrow, I feel like Prome breaks the third base that much faster, breaks the army that much faster. Like, it was a big factor. Not just Burrow, but even the Corruptors, right? The Corruptors able to snipers at like 5 or 6 gateways. Towards the end, Prome only had 3 gateways left, and he was banking a lot of resources. He was banking so much. You could argue that maybe Prome didn't have the attention for it, but if he had warped in defensively just to deal with the Corruptors, even just 1 wave of Stalkers, then he could have preserved some of those gateways and preserved the production. It's hard to say, but those Corruptors were also a big factor as well. They made sure that Prome's army wasn't getting any bigger. Wasn't being as reinforced as heavily as it otherwise should have been. GG. GG well played. It's just an impressive defense there by Shin. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And now welcome to Celestial Enclave. Now this map is similar to White Rabbit, but a little bit more extreme. The reasoning for this: 1, a much more secure natural base. The reasoning for this is because there's a ramp coming into the natural, so now this position is even more defendable than the last. Likewise, pocket base as well. So trying to break a Protoss player early is difficult. Are we going gasless? No, not quite. But fast third. So fast third base by Shin. This is going to delay his queens. So later queens, as you can see here, only 1 queen is being produced. He cannot afford a 2nd queen in the main base to afford the faster expansion. So a bit of a more greedy build here by Shin, but you have to be greedy on this map. Ooh, as Prome is going Robo. I was gonna say that in a standard game, I would expect to see Shin be greedy, cut corners, and we could see Muta again. Like, we speculated Muta play on White Rabbit, we speculate Muta play here on Celestial, but Prome is not a standard player, and Prome is going for another 2-base all-in. So another 2-base all-in, going Robo first. This looks Soul Train-esque, and once again, Shin is going early Overlord speed. I've never seen a player it's been years since I've seen a player unironically go Overlord speed first, so now seeing it twice in a row at a Shin. But again, I have to imagine it's because Prome has a reputation. It has to be. Like, Shin, he just wants to scout. He's like, this guy is taking too many ladder games off of me, you know? Like, if Shin wins the series, I'll message him about it. I'd be like, do you overload speed first just because of prome? Question mark. I mean, I have a feeling that the answer is yes, but I'll ask him anyway. If he wins, if he wins. But now overload speed kicks in, and Shin does go for the dive. He gets full confirmation, gets eyes on the robo, extra gateways. He confirms 2 base all in, and again, this does look like a soul train. And prome, he's like, the hell? He's like, get out of here. Get out of my main. You shouldn't be scouting me this easily, Pat. True, true. Your Shin whipping out the English. Oh my god. Ah. Ay, ay, ay. Like, Pappy, you're crazy. Hold on. I'll whip out the Google Lens. So Prome said you're going too far. He's like, hey, like what's going on? You're scouting too much. And then Shin said, you're crazy. You're scary. Well, technically he said it's scary, but yeah. So Shin, he's fully aware the 2 base all in. The gateway's being thrown down. We have the prism soon to move out. Looks like we have 1 immortal, so 1 immortal, and we can warp in what? Slow lots. It's going to be a slow lot all in. So Zealots, this early on, they don't have charge. That is true. They don't need charge, baby. Like these Zealots, like slow lot all ins, have been around for a couple of years now. I want to say they first kind of hit the mainstream like in 2021. That was during the EPT era of StarCraft. I want to say classic part. No, I want to say Haas, he kind of brought it to the forefront, and then it was adopted by the Koreans. But here we go, more slow lots warping in. Shin, he has 1 spine crawler, he cuts the workers at 36, that is under 2 base saturation. Building up his queens, building up his roaches, and can he make a stand? He has to get back. Yeah, he has to get back against those slow lots. Does pull away. 1 queen goes down. Clutch chance fuse. Yeah, clutch chance fuse. The prism is going to be zoned away. Oh no, the prism! Jesus, the prism barely gets out, but the Zealots are actually breaking into the natural. We're getting another warp in. Ooh, the warp in is denied. The snipe, the queen, the MVP queen gets a snipe, denies the warp in, and with that, the all-in has failed. Yeah, the all-in has failed here. Clutch defense here by Shin, and Prome, he has nothing behind this. He has no gas, he has no tech, he has no third base, and now he throws down a gas geyser. Now he should be pulling into gas. Yeah, now he does, but this is late. Very late gas income here. Again, the slow lots all-in has failed. And Shin, from here, he has options. He can just drone. He can just drone to be honest, and he is. He's droning, taking gases. From here, he can get his lair, tech up. That's still a lot of Zealots. That still has to be respected, for sure. Gotta be respected, man. Yeah, and here we go. That's a lot of Zealots here. We have 21, so it'll be 23 Zealots from Prome. He's waddling across the map as Shin behind this. He thankfully didn't overdrone. He did make a couple of workers, but he's now focusing on roach production. I mean, of course, he sees the army. And he's being proactive. And again, you can do this because why? Because no charge, right? He's kiting his heart out. Picks up 1, 2, 3, so it'll be 4 Zealots. Just gotta keep kiting back. Keep kiting. Oh no. Yeah, and Prome's just being outscaled. Queens, they try to dive on the prism. While, ooh, does connect. Prism will go down. And with that, Shin holds. Shin, he will hold. He bleeds out a couple of queens here, but with that, GG gets called. Shin will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. Prome is crazy, baby. GG, well played. Hold on. Ay, ay, ay. I'm messaging. GG will play. Congratulations, Shin. He will take the series. He will survive the shenanigans here of Prome. Prome going for 2 base all-ins, 2 games in a row. Game 1, he went for a Tempest Rush into a Blink Stalker follow-up into a 2 base all-in. Game number 2, we saw a 2 base Slow Lot all-in, which again, it's been a while. Been a while since we've seen that. Been a while since we have seen that for sure. But GG, well played.